Thank you, General, for being here. General, I want to ask you about the shooting at Covenant School, which is part of the Covenant Presbyterian Church. I realize that the shooter is dead, but the shooter could have had collaborators. Do you plan on opening a hate crime investigation for the targeting of Christians?
The FBI and ATF are both on the scene, working with the local police. As of now, motive hasn't been identified, and the police chief said at his last press conference that they don't yet have reached a conclusion with respect to motive. We are certainly working full-time with them to try and determine what the motive is, and of course, motive is what determines whether it's a hate crime or not.
Okay. FBI Director Wray couldn't answer this at the time for reasons that are not his fault, but
I hope you'll say the same thing if I can't answer it, right?
well, I think the coast is clear now. Michael Sussman, you know who I'm talking about?
He was a defendant in a special counsel prosecution. Yes.
Right, right. He was with the private law firm Perkins Coie, which is the main counsel for the National Democratic Party. He had a special badge to get him into the Justice Department and or the FBI building. Why did he have that special badge?
I'm afraid I also don't know anything about this. I assume from the reference that this is something that Mr. Durham was investigating as part of his investigation.
No, I don't think he investigated the badge.
I know he was investigating Mr. Sussman. This goes back to, I think, 2020.
Right.
But I don't know the answer to that.
Okay. Could you find out for me? At the time, the trial was in progress, and Mr. Wray couldn't answer, but the trial's over. And I'd like to know why Mr. Sussman, a private citizen, had a special badge to get him into the FBI and the Department of Justice, and if there are other people out there who have special badges.
Well, on the particular question about Sussman, I think we're going to have to wait until Mr. Durham finishes his report, which should be relatively soon. I certainly don't in any way want to interfere with him, and he's the one who would know the answer to that. On the more general question, I can certainly ask my team to look into how lawyers have special badges.
Would you? That'd be great. Thank you. I want to ask you about the China Initiative, which, as you know, was started under the Department of Justice to counter the transfer of scientific research and intellectual property to China. At any time, did the investigations initiated under the China Initiative by the Department of Justice stem from racism?
I have no evidence to suggest that they did.
Okay. At any time, did the investigations pursuant to the China Initiative and begun by the Department of Justice, were they ever inappropriately undertaken?
Again, I have no evidence to suggest that they did. Obviously, some of the cases resulted in acquittals or dismissals by courts, but that doesn't mean that they were inappropriately begun.
Okay. Did any of the cases that the department initiated under the China Initiative reflect the ancestry of the defendant charged more than the seriousness of the allegations?
I'm not sure exactly what you're asking, but it sounds like it's the same question, and I would give the same answer. I don't have any reason to believe that anything was done inappropriately or based on ancestry or based on discrimination in those cases.
Okay. Do you agree with Chris Wray that China is the biggest threat to U.S. security?
Yeah, and I think the Director of National Intelligence also testified that it's our most dangerous near peer.
Well, let me ask you this, because I've got 11 seconds.
I'm sorry?
I've got 11 seconds left. Why did you get rid of the China Initiative then?
Yeah, so as you know, the the new Assistant Attorney General for the National Security Division, gave a long description of what was done. This was all folded into one nation-state initiative. We don't know sometimes when there's a cyber attack, when there's another kind of attack, which country is attacking us. And I believe he thought it was most efficient for us to focus our attention on the four main hostile state actors. China, now in many ways affiliating with Russia, which
Some of your people said it was racist.
I didn't say that. I don't know who my people are who said that.
Okay. Well, if I had more time, we can find out here. Help me out, Senator Manchin.
Senator Kennedy, there will be a second round of
Yes,
questions
ma'am.
if
Yes,
you would
ma'am.
like to stay.
Yes, ma'am.
Senator Manchin.
There's no way I could fill in for you, sir.
I don't know whether that's good or bad.
That's a good one. That's a good one.